I was sitting on the beach today and I was just admiring the beauty. It was insane. It was like the light was coming on, the water was crashing, the beach looked amazing. And then I realized that I was all alone. I felt extremely alone. And loneliness started creeping into like every little piece of my bone marrow. I realized that, you can have paradise in your surroundings, but be in prison in your mind. And on the flip side, you can be in prison in your surroundings, but have paradise in the mind. So in this video, what I want to talk about is how to identify loneliness, what we can do, what actions can we take, and then acknowledging that that loneliness may come back, but we know what we can do to overcome it. If you're new to the channel, my name is Jason and you're watching the Successipe, and in this video, we're talking about loneliness and the power to transform it. Concept number one. This is really a video for my extroverted people. All of my friends out there that can just go out into the middle of the woods, be alone and read a book and feel like they're at the deepest form of peace they can ever imagine. I don't understand those kind of people, but hey, I love them for that. And I wish I had a piece of that in me, but I don't. So if you're anything like me, us extroverts, we get our power and we get our peace and we get our batteries charged by being out, being social. That is what drives us. I feel like I can see it on both sides. I was an only child, so I know what it's like to be alone, be in my room, working on art, something like this. Living a life pretty much alone while my mom was away at work and I was a latchkey kid. But on the other side, because I was a latchkey kid, I was always with someone else's family, and that made me feel connected and that desire to always be a part of something. And I started to realize that when I had these huge pendulum swings, when I would go out and be super social and all of this, and then I would come back home, that loneliness would intensify. And when I first started to identify what was happening, I just kind of felt out of control. I felt like this emotion was just taking control of me and I had no way to understand what I was doing. And then I would probably try to, get high, smoke some weed, get drunk, or do something stupid like that to kind of bury it. But as I developed my emotional intelligence, and that's what this video is about, the development of emotional intelligence, I started to kind of develop some ways to overcome the loneliness. The very first way that I developed this emotional intelligence was that I became aware of what I was experiencing. So what does that mean? Once I started feeling the loneliness, I wanted to name it. I wanted to identify it. Just like we do with hunger. We start feeling like this grumble in our stomach and we start to have that mind chatter and we go, oh, this is hunger. We identify it, we name it, hunger. And then we make action on it, right? Once we have that awareness, we make action. That will be later on in this video. We'll talk about the actionable steps. But first, what I just want to simply say is that making that simple awareness, that identification of our loneliness is massive. If we can identify that we feel alone and put a name on it and say it out loud, even say it to yourself, like, I feel alone. Like, make it be heard for the people, maybe not the people around you, but like make it be heard, let yourself hear yourself say that. Now you have awareness to that. And once we have awareness, we are now in a very powerful position because we can start to make decisions based off of that awareness. This is emotional intelligence. We want to develop our emotional intelligence, understand what we are going through, that we are not a victim. We're not a victim in any of the emotions that we're having. We can gain control of this, but we have to start applying ourselves and identifying it and becoming aware of it. This is the very first step that started really helping me deal with my loneliness. All right, moving on to concept number two. We have identified that we're alone. We have named it. Now we're at the awareness point. Step number two is putting ourselves in a power position. What do I mean by that? Once we took that step and put a name on our loneliness, now we have the power to choose how we want to take action. Do we want to just get drunk and forget about it and bury it? Or do we want to grab that emotion by our hands and do something with it? So in this case, I was like, I'm feeling alone when I was on the beach. I grabbed my boogie board and I ran out to the water. This is a really good interruption to your emotional state. This is not distraction. In some sense, it may be a little bit, but it's a positive interruption. Because what we're doing is we're taking ourselves out of our mind, we're putting ourselves into our body. And in this case, when I was out in the ocean, it's all about, swimming, not drowning, playing with the waves, all of this. It really is a form of meditation. And this can be done with bike riding, rock climbing, something that exerts energy. You want to exert energy. You want to sweat. You want to move. You want to shake all of those emotions up. A lot of times that's just kind of stale sentiment that's just sitting in our body. And we just want to give that a little shake to kind of free us up. But that power point that I'm talking about, that actionable step based on the awareness, is extremely important. Just like that concept that I was talking about with feeling hunger, and then you go and you make a sandwich, same thing. As soon as you start to have that awareness of you're feeling sad, you use the power position, you use your actionable steps to deal with it. So in my case, when I was feeling alone, I was like, okay, I know what to do at this point. I need to do some form of interruption of my current mindset of loneliness. And so I went out and applied myself. And while I was out there, I didn't think about being alone anymore. I just thought about surviving in the water. Or when I'm on a bike, I just think about pushing my body to the limits when I'm on my bike. Same thing with you. I'm sure you can think about all the other things that you want to do to interrupt your mindset. All right, let's do a little recap before I get on to concept 3. 1, we become aware, our emotional intelligence is strong, and we are identifying that we are alone. Second step is that we are in a power position now, and we are going to choose how we want to take action on this loneliness, on this emotion. Now, step 3 is knowing and understanding and be okay with the fact that the emotion is going to return. Yeah, when I was walking back from the boogie board and I was going home, I started to recall the feeling of loneliness. Why? Because I had already done my interruptions and I kind of already started to work through it. But yes, when I was walking back to my house, I did feel alone. But the point that I want to make here is that if we accept that it will come back, just like the hunger comes back, we will now have the steps and processes to address that hunger. We will have the process and steps to address that loneliness. And that's the most important part. It's not like, okay, we distracted ourselves, or we had this beautiful interruption and now it's never going to come back. No, like really understand that it's going to come back. I know that I will probably feel alone another time. But with that, let's analyze, why is it coming back? And for us extroverts, I'm sure you're going to be totally in alignment with this, is that over the past couple of days, I've been doing a lot of socializing. I was out partying, I was dancing. It was a lot of fun. And I was getting all of that dopamine rush. And then now today, it's chill. There's no one out. It's really relaxed. I'm by myself. And for all intents and purposes, it's pretty ideal. However, I have that dopamine addiction. I have that desire to keep devouring that socialness. And okay, like, now, because I'm building my emotional awareness, my emotional intelligence, I can kind of identify that now too, that maybe I'm just addicted to being social. I start to feel the feeling of the social crash, the dopamine crash. And I think that if I'm feeling it, maybe y'all are feeling it. And so now with that newfound knowledge that I'm having, I'm like, okay, the next time that I go out and I'm super social for a couple days, I am going to bet that I might have these feelings of loneliness when I'm not being social the following days. And I'll be able to fall back on these steps that I'm talking about right now and be like, okay, I'm probably feeling like this. I need to see if I can create some healthy interruptions to get myself out of the state of loneliness and start to occupy my body and push my body in different kinds of ways, like exercise or boogie boarding or whatever you want to do. But having that awareness that it probably will come back and naming why it might come back has a lot of power. And I was able to take something negative, like the motion on the beach, and turn it into something positive, like this video that I'm sharing with you now. It's such a wonderful thing to be able to transform that loneliness into a power, transform the loneliness into something positive. I cannot be the only one that's alone in this, especially for us extroverts out there that love to do. Imagine if you can take your loneliness and convert that into something beautiful and something positive. That is an amazing thing. Okay, just to recap. First, we have awareness. Let's become aware that we are feeling alone. Second, let's put ourselves in a power position. Let's apply action based on our awareness. And hopefully we can apply a beneficial physical activity to this action. And then third, know that it will probably return, but that we have the remedies and the steps and the emotional intelligence in place to deal with this loneliness. If this video spoke to you, or if you think that you know somebody that this video can really help, please share it. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. Each time y'all do that, it gives me the power to continue on my path, my dharma, to explore deeper into the things that I'm dealing with and hopefully translate that into a language that you guys can understand too, and we can connect in that and we can build a community that way. I appreciate you guys for sticking in with me. Once again, my name is Jason and you're watching Successipe. Till next time, ciao.